Welcome to another one of my 2-strand tutorials. Today we will crochet these fingerless gloves where you can decide whether you want shorter ones or the longer ones to cover a larger part of fingers and wrist. You will need 2 colors of the same yarn. I'm using Mega Ball Aran. This yarn is recommended with hook sizes 9 and 10, which is 5.5 and 6 mm. I'm using hook number 9, which is 5.5 mm. Then we will also need a pair of scissors and a yarn needle. We will start with the cord as a foundation. We take both ends, put them together and make a slip knot. Wrap the yarn around the fingers, hold it with the thumb, and then from the other side go with your hook in here and pull up a loop and pull the ends. Now we have 2 loops on your hook. The loop that is on the bottom on the hook will be our top color to work with in the left hand. I hold this one just like I hold the yarn when I crochet with one strand, and the bottom yarn I hold between my thumb and middle finger and secure it with ring finger and pinky here. Cord is basically a chain with extra yarn wrapped around the hook. So we will bring the bottom yarn over the hook front to back, hold it here, then yarn over the top color and pull through all loops on the hook. This is the first cord chain. And again, bring the bottom yarn over the hook front to back, yarn over the top color and pull through. Bring the bottom yarn over the hook, yarn over the top yarn and pull through. And last time together, bring the bottom yarn over the hook, yarn over the top yarn and pull through. When you look here, you can see the chains you made. We have 4 so far. With this yarn I am using and the size of the hook, I need to make 22 cord chains in total. If you are using different size, you might need to adjust the amount of cord chains. It doesn't matter if it's odd or even amount. I finished my 22 cord chains. As you can see, this cord is pretty stretchy. I am making this cord about 6 inches long unstretched, which is somewhere around 14 to 15 centimeters. This part will be under your wrist. I like my gloves tight and stay in place, but you can try to wrap it around your arm to see if it fits. To start row 1, we are going to chain 1 with our bottom yarn and then chain 2 with our top yarn to bring the yarn to the height of the 2-strand double crochet stitch. Now I will show you where we will place our 2-strand double crochets. So when you look at the cord, you can see here the chains. If you slightly turn it, you can see the side loops of bottom color, and this is where we will be placing our stitches. So one here and here. Okay, so let's get to it. I'm gonna show you how we make the 2-strand double crochet. So we will yarn over the top yarn, then we will slide the hook under the first side loop here, yarn over the bottom yarn and pull up a loop. Now bring the bottom yarn over the hook front to back and hold it there with your middle finger and thumb. Yarn over the top yarn and pull through first 2 loops that are the different color. You have 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over the top yarn and pull through the rest. Now the second one, yarn over the top yarn, slide the hook under the next side loop, yarn over the bottom yarn and pull up a loop. Bring the bottom yarn over the hook front to back and hold it there. Yarn over the top yarn, pull through first 2 loops on the hook, and then yarn over the top yarn again and pull through the rest. Second finished, 20 to go. Yarn over the top yarn, slide the hook under the next side loop, yarn over the bottom yarn and pull up a loop. Bring the bottom yarn over the hook, yarn over the top yarn and pull through first 2, yarn over the top yarn again and pull through the rest. Now let's do one more together. Yarn over the top yarn, slide the hook under the next side loop, yarn over the bottom yarn and pull up a loop. Bring the bottom yarn over the hook, yarn over the top yarn and pull through first 2, and then yarn over the top yarn again and pull through the rest. In the beginning it might seem complicated, but I promise you that it will get only easier from here. Now keep repeating these steps and place 1 2-strand double crochet under each side loop till the end of the cord, and I will see you before placing the last stitch of this row. I am at the end of the row, and you can see here that there are 2 loops of bottom color here because of the slip knot, so I will place my last stitch under both of them. To start our second row, we will need to switch the colors first, so we need to chain 1 with our top color. Now let it go and bring up the bottom color. And now we will chain 2 with our new top color. And now we can turn the work right to left like a page in a book, and I will show you where we will be placing now our 2-strand double crochets. If you look at your stitches from the top, you can see these horizontal V's. These are the tops of our stitches. Here, here, here. And if you slightly turn it away from you, right under the tops there are these loops. These are the third loops. Here, here, here. So we will place a 2-strand double crochet under third loop of each stitch till the end of the row. So yarn over the top color, find your first stitch. We skip all the chains we made when we were switching colors. Here is the first stitch and its third loop. So slide the hook under the third loop from bottom up. And then yarn over the bottom color, pull up a loop, bring the bottom color over the hook front to back and hold it there. Yarn over the top color, pull through first 2, yarn over the top color again and pull through the rest. The stitch is the same, only it's placed under different loops. So again, yarn over the top yarn, slide the hook under third loop of the next stitch, yarn over the bottom yarn and pull up a loop, bring the bottom yarn over the hook front to back, yarn over the top yarn and pull through first 2 loops, then yarn over the top yarn again and pull through the rest. Let's make one more together. Yarn over the top yarn, slide the hook under the third loop of the next stitch, yarn over the bottom yarn and pull up a loop. Bring the bottom yarn over the hook, yarn over the top yarn and pull through first 2, then yarn over the top yarn again and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. Now we can pause the video here and continue placing 2-strand double crochets under third loop of each stitch till the end of the row, and I will see you there again. I am placing the last stitch of this row and then I will switch the colors again. So I chain 1 with the top color, then I let it go, bring up the bottom color and chain 2 and then turn the work. So the second row is finished and now we can see that our glove will have right side and a wrong side. This is the right side. The third row will be made of 2-strand double crochets under back loop only. So again, if you look at the top of the stitches, you can see the horizontal V's. Each V is made of front and back loop. Front loop is the one closer to you and back loop is the one further from you. So you will have to go with your hook into the middle of the V and slide the hook under the back loop. So let's start with our third row. We yarn over and then we have to find the first stitch. Now here I can see that this is my first third loop, which means that this is the top of my first stitch. I go into the middle of that V, slide the hook under back loop only, yarn over the bottom yarn and pull up a loop, bring the bottom yarn over the hook, yarn over the top yarn and pull through first 2, yarn over the top yarn again and pull through the rest. Now yarn over the top yarn and slide the hook under the back loop only of the next stitch and place a 2-strand double crochet there. The stitch stays the same and I guess that by now you know the steps, so just continue placing 2-strand double crochets under back loop of each stitch till the end of the row and I will see you there again. So I am at the end of the row now, placing my last stitch here. Now when you look at your project you can see the pattern. We're going to repeat the last 2 rows over and over, so we are going to switch the colors by chaining 1 with the top color, let it go, bring up the bottom color and chain 2. Row 4 is made of 2-strand double crochets on the third loop again, so let's turn the work. And then let's place 2-strand double crochet under the third loop of the first stitch here. And when you are finished, you will place a 2-strand double crochet on the third loop of each stitch till the end of the row. If you got this far in this tutorial, please hit the like button. It's a free way to support this growing channel and letting me know that you actually followed my tutorial. And if you'd like to see more, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. You should know though that since this is my hobby, I don't upload new video every week on the same day at the same time. So it can happen that sometimes I do not upload for a few weeks and then I upload multiple times in 1 week. That's just so that you know. And now I will skip to the end of the row and I will meet you there. And we are at the end of the 4th row. Now let's chain 1 with the top color. Let go, bring up the bottom color and chain 2. Now turn the work. And now let's continue with the row number 5, which is again 2-strand double crochet under back loop only, just like the 3rd row. So here is our first stitch and we will place 2-strand double crochet under back loop only. And then we will continue placing 2-strand double crochets under back loop of each stitch till the end of the row. When you come to the end, switch the colors, so you will chain 1 with the top color, then let it go, Bring up the bottom color and chain 2, then you can turn the work and continue with the row 6, where you will be placing 2 strand double crochets on the third loop. So continue repeating rows 2 and 3 until your glove is as long as you wish. Mine will be about 8 inches long, which is about 20 centimeters, and I will see you then. So here is my finished rectangle. Now I'm going to turn it into a fingerless glove. And by the way, I finished with the red on the top because that's how I started the first row. Now I will fold it and check where I want to have the thumb hole and where I want my glove to end on my fingers. I want this glove to cover more of my fingers, at least till here. The last row here is the one on the fingers and the foundation cord will be under my wrist. So I will slip stitch this part till here, then there will be a thumb hole till here, and then I will continue slip stitching all the way down. And you can also choose to go for sewing with a needle if that works for you. Now I will fold my project wrong side out, that is this side, and I am gonna start slip stitching the longer sides of rectangle together. I will use red yarn to slip stitch, so I will simply insert my hook back in here and I will continue. I will slip stitch for about 2.5 inch, which is about 6 centimeters all the way here, and there we'll start the thumb hole then. The first slip stitch will come right here into that red part, so we will insert the hook here, then also into that other side, yarn over and pull up a loop, and then pull that first loop through the other loop. The next slip stitch will go here where the gray row starts. Approximately we will place always 2 slip stitches per one color of row. So here I place my second slip stitch, then I move further on that gray row, place a slip stitch here, and there where the red row starts. I choose, by the way, to go into those chains and into the stitches only under one loop, because otherwise there might be bigger holes if you go around the stitch. Now I place second in the red section, and we will continue like this, placing 2 slip stitches into each color of the row. And once again, it's approximately 2 stitches per row, so even if you place sometimes 1 and then 3, it's completely fine. So when you reach the point you want the thumb hole to start, instead of slip stitching, we will single crochet on one of the sides of the thumb hole. Place 2 single crochet stitches into each color section. The thumb hole should be about 2 inches or 5 centimeters long. When you reach 2 inches of single crochet, continue with slip stitching the 2 sides together, leaving 2 inches untouched on the other side. So here you want to make sure that you start slip stitching again on the same row on both sides. So here I speed it up while I slip stitch till the end of the glove with approximately 2 stitches per color row. I am placing my last slip stitch here, and then I will chain 1. Now pull that loop a bit, and at this point you can turn it inside out and try it on your hand to see if you're okay with the length of glove above the thumb hole and the size of thumb hole. If not, you can still frog it and adjust it. A lot depends here on size of your hand. If you made your hand glove as tight as I did, maybe you have some trouble putting it on, but that will also get easier. But it fits perfectly, so I can now continue by turning it inside out and leaving long enough end to get back to the thumb hole and single crochet on the untouched side. About 20 inches or 50 centimeters should be enough. We can also cut off the other color now because we are finished with that one. Hold that loop to fasten off, and then we will thread the yarn needle. Now we need to bring our yarn through the slip stitches all the way up here to finish the single crochet on the other side of the thumb hole. Now that we brought the yarn up here, we are going to remove the needle and continue with single crochet on this untouched side. So grab your hook again and place approximately 2 single crochet stitches per color row, just like we did on the other side. First we will insert the hook right here on the next loop, yarn over, pull up a loop and chain 1. And now we can continue with placing the single crochets. And now I'm in the end. I'm going to place one more single crochet right here. And then I will slip stitch into the slip stitch that I made as last when I started the thumb hole from the other side. And then chain one and pull that loop. And now we are going to weave in the ends and we are finished. I cut this end shorter, thread the needle, and then I'm going to hide the end. So you want to go under a few slip stitches one direction and then go opposite direction back. And then you can cut it off. Then I move on to the next end. This is the one from when we finished the rectangle. And here I'm going to bring it to the slip stitches that we made, and then I will make a knot here to make sure that it will not go loose. And then weave in the end. And then the last ends, these are from the beginning of the project, and you can see that I left them really short. Maybe it happened also to you. So here I have to place the needle first and then thread it. And pull and cut it off. So now that I'm finished, I'm just gonna turn it right side out again. As I said in the beginning, I make this pair of gloves pretty tight, but you will see once you put it on that it will fit perfectly on your hand and stay in its place. So this was it, people. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please don't forget to hit the like button, and if you'd like to see more of my tutorials, 2-strand or classic crochet, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time. Bye!